I spent $10,200 on my parents' big night, but my name wasn't even on the guest list. Mom called me a waitress, not a guest. So I canceled everything. The bill vanished, the gift never arrived, and the real shock hit them when they got home. Hey everyone. Before we kick off today's video, I've got a favor to ask. We've noticed our channel isn't getting as much love lately, and subscribing is one of the easiest ways you can help us out. It's quick, free, and it means we can keep bringing you awesome content. Your support really means a lot, so let's work together to keep this channel growing. Thanks a bunch. Now, let's dive into the video. I was all set to finally attend an event I helped plan, but my mom had other ideas. She looked at me and said, "You're a waitress, not a guest." I didn't make a fuss or anything, I just stood there with the guest list of 78 names, realizing I wasn't one of them. I paid for everything, cousins, neighbors, even the florist and piano player. Somehow, there was a chair for everyone except me. When I tried to bring it up, my mom just brushed me off, saying I looked the part of a waitress, so no one would even notice. My dad chimed in, saying they needed help, and I had wanted to contribute, pointing out the $10,000 I gave them. I also threw in $200 for some emergency flowers. Before I could say anything else, they walked away. I understood, right then, that expectations, not blood, defined my place in the family, and apparently, I'd missed the mark. I had flown in days early, handled all the chaotic event details, and even bailed Dad out of a tux rental mix-up. I never complained until the morning of the celebration when I asked where I was supposed to sit. Mom just laughed, saying there was no need for me to have a seat since I'd be busy all night, a seat I reminded her that I paid for. Her response was clear, it wasn't an oversight. It was their choice. That night, while trying to hold on to my dignity by the cake table, I got a text from Mom suggesting I could maybe join by video during the toast. I replied, "No worries," without shedding a tear or raising my voice. But I took a stand. I canceled everything. The party fizzled out early with no backups. Once my parents got home, I saw it on our porch camera, still no thank yous or apologies the next day, just a casual message from Mom saying everything was lovely. 3 days later, my cousin Melanie mentioned in the family chat that she didn't see me at the event. My sister Angela posted a picture of me working behind the dessert table, captioned with "From family to full-time help." The reactions were predictable, a whole array of heart and laugh emojis. It was all there in plain sight, I was invisible labor cloaked in familial duty. Over the years, I'd paid their bills, helped with emergencies, taken care of all their little crises, and not once had there been an offer to repay or a real thank you. My supposed role was clear, I blended in so well that I was never meant to be truly seen. So, because I didn't tie the knot by 30, my mom always had this way of talking that was super sweet on the surface, but you could feel the underlying jab. Her words always started off as, "We know you're super busy, but if it's not too much trouble, you're the only one who could pull this off, Angela." Fast forward to last September, she texts me in a panic at 2 a.m. needing help to log into her student loan portal. Her password? Helpless 420. I handled it, and she hit me back with just one emoji. Typical. I was always the tech support, financial backup, part-time therapist, and unpaid logistics manager. So imagine my surprise when I saw that my name wasn't on the guest spreadsheet, not a mistake, it was branding. When I asked Angela about it, she said, "You always wanted the spotlight, we just gave you a role to match." While everyone was partying under the lights I paid for, there I was, restocking wine. Mom, with her half-drunk glass, drops, "Can you switch this for the Riesling? The other one's too dry." And smile, "People are watching." I let out a small laugh, enough to make her look at me, puzzled. The next day, the florist called, Mom's final invoice bounced. I checked, and half the balance had been moved for a spa weekend at a resort they visited last year without me. I confronted her, just saying it straight up, and she blinked and said, "You didn't say it was urgent." No apology. Felt like she was making up new rules as she went along. Then, Angela uploaded photos to Instagram, all smiles, matching outfits, the whole perfect family vibe. She tagged everyone. Mom, Dad, Lisa, Uncle Rich, even her ex and yoga instructor. Not me. Not one pic. I didn't exist. Then, to top it off, Mom forwarded a text from Aunt Marie saying, "You didn't seem very friendly, maybe bring less attitude next time." And a note from Mom, "You can join the next event by video if you're free." I stared at that heart emoji and her message forever before I replied, "No worries." That's when I began compiling a list, not of guests, but receipts and screenshots of texts, messages, call logs. I was done. 1 week after the party, Mom sent a casual invite for brunch, like nothing happened. I said yes because I had my own plans. Sunday rolled around, and I showed up early to the same house, same marble kitchen island I helped pay for, same fake orchids on the table. Mom greeted me with her usual sweet but deadly warmth. Angela was there too, on her phone, acting like she hadn't trashed me in the family chat. Dad was at the head of the table, too busy with news on his iPad to acknowledge the tension. No one asked how I was or why I had gone MIA on texts. Instead, Mom poured drinks and was like, "Let's not make this a big deal." So, I didn't. I just pulled out a small navy folder and put it on the table. Angela laughed. "What is this, your resignation?" "No," I replied, "your file." Her smile vanished. Dad lowered the iPad. Inside were 12 printed screenshots of texts, bank transfers, memes from group chats. One from me to Mom, labeled anniversary venue deposit, another of Angela telling a friend I was desperate to be loved enough to pay to be invited, with a heart emoji. Mom reached for the folder, but I pulled it back. "No, we're doing this out loud." Then I took out my phone and hit play. It was a voice memo from 2 days before the party, Angela and Mom in the kitchen talking while making place cards. Angela had her phone in her pocket and unknowingly connected to the speaker in the next room, and I recorded it. The audio played. "Angela, are we really not giving her a seat?" "Mom, she's not a guest, she's a function." "Angela, it's kind of cruel." "Mom, life's cruel. She's useful when we need her, that's enough." I hit pause. Silence. Angela cracked first, "That's out of context." I just smiled and said, "Sure, let's get more context." Then I reached into my bag and brought out a small silver hard drive labeled Family Archive. Angela went pale. Back in college, I was the family's unofficial tech guru. Built Angela's laptop, synced her cloud backups, set up her emails, taught her all her tricks, and in the process, saw everything. I mirrored her Google Drive the night after the party. So, here's the crazy story. Angela never bothered to change the recovery email while she was busy making a bunch of fake screenshots and threats to make me look bad. She even had this Photoshop file called drafts to make her look unstable with my picture and some red text over it that said stuff like jealous, obsessive, and manipulative. She went as far as creating a fake calendar invite to send to our cousin Marie, claiming I ditched her baby shower on purpose. But the real kicker was a voice file she edited, trying to mimic my voice using AI filters. It had me saying nasty stuff like, "You're nothing to me, you're lucky I let you exist." When I pressed play, Mom dropped her mimosa, Dad stood up, and Angela lunged at the table. I managed to snatch back the drive just in time. "You think this proves something?" Angela hissed, still in denial. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "You've always hidden behind lies, but now it's your voice, your fingerprints, your patterns." Dad shouted, "This ends now, you're tearing this family apart over feelings." I replied, "No, I'm just showing receipts." Then I pulled out the final piece, a bank statement showing a $10,200 wire transfer from my account. The bank even flagged it for non-disclosed personal use. Angela looked like she'd seen a ghost. Mom whispered something about fixing it and talking to the bank, but I said, "It's not mine to fix." Then the front door opened, and in walked Nathan, Angela's ex, the one she told everyone had cheated and ghosted her. He wasn't supposed to be there, but I had invited him. He calmly placed a small envelope on the table and said, "You told them I hit you, threatened your family, and stalked you. I lost my job because of your lies." He had printed messages inside from Angela begging him to pretend they were engaged, even offering him money. When he refused, she threatened him. Angela turned to Mom for support, but she stayed silent. Dad just sat there, hands shaking. I stood up and looked around the room. "From this moment on," I said clearly, "I am no longer part of this family, not legally, not emotionally, not financially." I had a second folder with me, showing account closures and my name removed from joint lines. Angela started crying, and Dad tried to say something, but I cut him off. "You said I wasn't on the guest list. You were right, I was never invited, just expected." Then I walked out, and no one followed. That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was stressed, but because I finally felt clear-headed. I stayed up organizing everything: screenshots, audio clips, financial records, and all of Angela's edited files. Each one became a small brick in the wall I was about to build. At 8:03 a.m., I hit post on something titled, $10,200 later, a breakdown of what family looks like when you're not one of them. It wasn't a rant, it was like a digital archive: every bank transfer for their anniversary night, screenshots of Angela's drama, audio of my mom treating me like an afterthought. I blurred some names but left enough for people to know who was who. Within 4 hours, the post blew up to 120,000 views. Comments started pouring in from strangers saying things like, "I see you, I'm the oldest daughter too. This isn't just your story, it's ours." By noon, 3 local news blogs reached out. By 4 p.m., Angela deleted her Instagram. Around 6:22 p.m., I got a text from an unknown number, with Dad saying, "You're proud of this? Embarrassing your mother?" By 6:37 p.m., Mom texted, "We never meant to hurt you, but airing our dirty laundry like this is cruel. I raised you better." I replied, "Just once, you raised me useful, not better." Then I blocked them both. Angela tried to reach out another way, DMing me from a burner account. Her username was normal_days, and she said, "This is all a huge misunderstanding, you know that, right?" I sent her back one file, the voice filter she used labeled "your nothing_mix." She never responded again. But the real moment that hit me like a shockwave came 3 days later. My email pinged with the subject, "Brava Grand Award notification." 3 months earlier, I had applied to a Creative Impact Fund for underrepresented storytellers with a short essay about erasure and how daughters often turn into support staff in toxic families. I had completely forgotten about it, but now they were offering me $25,000 and a platform to turn my story into a digital docuseries, not because I was a victim, but because I documented everything and survived with grit. I accepted the offer and made one last move. I bought a domain called Familiar Servitude. I posted everything there with a clean layout, organized receipts, watermarked documents, and compressed voice files. It was my story, and now it had a place to live. So, I decided to get real on streaming, none of that drama, just straight up life stuff. Picture this, I'm at the top with a simple black text saying, "I was the waitress, so here's your itemized bill." That next week? Total chaos. My mom unleashed on Facebook with a 7-paragraph rant. Look, everyone screws up, and families can heal, but not when they're cashing in on the drama. Then, my aunt roped me into some cheesy forgiveness chain post, while Angela made a new secret profile and started following me again. Her bio was all like, "Healing isn't a straight line #growth." I didn't bother responding cause while they were busy trying to shine up their images, I was building something real. I kickstarted a YouTube series called Invisible at the Table with stories from folks like me, eldest daughters who got sidelined, quiet sons, siblings who felt invisible. And I didn't just gab, I paid each guest $500 because spilling your truth in the open ain't free. Sponsors rolled in, viewers stuck around, and in those first 2 weeks, I hit over 80,000 subscribers. Then the real twist happened. My mom sent me a handwritten letter, 2 pages with no apology, just some cryptic stuff like the heart sometimes speaks in silence. She ended it with, "If you ever want to talk, we're here. Family is family." So, I sent something back, a package with a printed guest list with my name missing, a $0 invoice marked reimbursement declined, and a USB labeled, "You said I was too dramatic, here's the raw footage." I let the silence do the talking, just like they used to, but this time, I owned it. It's been 6 weeks since that post, 4 since I launched the website, 2 since my YouTube channel got verified, and just 3 days since my mom commented on one of my videos under a fake name, saying, "Some people love making monsters out of memories. Be careful, playing the victim is addictive." I liked the comment, not because I agreed but because I wanted her to know I recognized her tone, even in disguise. My life? It's different now. Not in that flashy Instagram way, but in a no one has the keys but me kind of way. I moved into a cozy little apartment on the 11th floor, no shared walls, fast Wi-Fi, stocked fridge, and no one knows where it is. And my phone? Got a new number. The old one, tied to every "can you help with rent?" and emergency favor text, I literally buried. I printed out a chat from the day of the party with all the memes, laughter, and my glaring absence, wrapped it around my old SIM card, and stuck it in a mason jar. I drove to the woods and buried it behind some abandoned trail, marking it as the grave of the last time I begged to be included. Angela's latest move was emailing me with a subject line like "I'm ready to talk now as equals." She attached a Google Doc titled "Shared Accountability," suggesting a family chat video with lines like "We all made mistakes," and avoiding words like abuse or exile. My response? I edited the doc with one line at the top, "You can't heal a lie you're still living in." Never hit reply, just shared it publicly, and it's gotten 86,000 views. The best part? Their big vow renewal, yep, the one I planned, paid for, and got erased from, didn't make it into the local news. Why? I tipped off the editor, saying I was the planner, that the venue had code issues, showed the receipts, and pointed out the backup generator fail that ended the party early. Instead, the paper featured an article called Invisible Daughters: The Cost of Being the Backup Plan in Your Own Family. And there I was on the cover, in black, smiling, not because I was thrilled, but because I was finally free. Just yesterday, I wrapped up a panel at a local bookstore called Redrawing the Family Tree. They asked me to close with a thought, and I said, I'm not mad I was left off the guest list. I'm grateful because now I know I'm not just a piece of furniture to move around the table. I own the table. Not everyone gets an invite. Mic drop, standing ovation, and I walked out with nothing but my own name to carry, finally mine again. Right by my apartment buzzer, there's a custom plate I got made. It reads, not family, not forgiving, not available, with smaller text underneath.